We're talking about what again?
All the
Black.
Black Widow drama, man.
Ooh, man. It's kind of hard to pick a side with that one. A lot of stuff going on.
Crap, close that out. Yeah, it's man, I don't. Yeah, it's been really, really annoying. I think more than anything because it's like I kind of want to side with one party, but then I also kind of want to side with the other. Ultimately, I think Disney already has a bunch of money. They can drop 50 million for Disney is like pennies for them. You know what I mean? It's like you're like, here, shut up. But I think it's more of a fight for the future of movies. I think. I mean, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, right. So what exactly is going on? So we have a lot of viewers that maybe don't know what's going on with Black Widow. Black Widow just had a movie released recently. You can check out one of our past videos on the channel where she had her own origin story film. It was great. It did okay in theaters, but Scarlett Johansson thought that her movie was only going to be broadcast in the theaters. But that wasn't.
It was supposed to, yeah.
Supposed to.
It was supposed to. That was pre-COVID. Yeah, and then a lot of these actors have like stuff in their contracts that they get bonuses. So if the movie makes X amount of money, then they get X amount of money. As in like, cool, the movie did really well. Here's a little bit more for you, thank you, kind of thing. And since it's a pandemic, no one's hitting the numbers that any movie, because like Jungle Cruise easily would have been like 150 mil like opening weekend. I think easily. Yeah. So and Black Widow, I think Black Widow was on track to hit. They thought they were going to hit $1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. It's principle. Yeah. That's why I think it is too. Is principle is.
So where is her anger exactly? Did she miss out on money? Is it just a contract thing? Is she missing out on what she would have made in theaters? Because we can't control COVID. We can't control COVID. So it's like if you're mad Black Widow or Scarlett Johansson, then every other Avenger should be pissed about their movies coming out very soon. The Spider-Man film that's coming out in December coming up?
December.
What, should he be pissed if his film goes Disney Plus too? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the next one is Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's going to be Disney Plus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think.
Where's the anger? And then that's what I'm kind of wondering.
So yeah, part of the whole thing is she's suing to get the $50 million that she was promised. So it was like, hey, I should get more money because it was going to do well in theaters theoretically, but since they put it, they're saying since her Scarlett's people are saying since it got put in Disney Plus where people can watch it at home, that people didn't go to theaters. And Disney can manipulate those numbers because they don't need to make those numbers public. So even though they came out and said Black Widow made like $60 million or whatever number it made, it was a pretty high number that it made on Disney Plus, is part of the reason why is reason why it didn't do well in theaters. Was it did too well at home, and in the contract she's not going to get any money for streaming stuff.
That's where it is. That's where I was wondering the frustration. Yeah. So she missed out on money because it went to Disney Plus.
Yeah. Damn. But even still though, she would never have hit that limit, I think. It needed to hit like, I think it needed to hit like 400,000 or 400 million, 400 million or 500 million before she got her bonus of like 50 million, So, there's that. So she came out and said that was basically like Disney screwed her over because they put it on Disney Plus, and that wasn't in the contract. In the contract didn't say it was going to be exclusive theater release. Disney clapped back with, "Hey, listen, there's this pandemic going on, and we need to make money." So it made it seem like Scarlett Johansson was like inconsiderate about the pandemic kind of thing. So that was their kind of clapback of it, which was pretty damn good. I was like, damn, Disney. And
Pull
then
that card
obviously
real quick.
Scarlett Johansson, her people came back and said basically like, "Hey, I understand, but also like it's in the contract kind of thing."
Mm.
So it kind of starts to become like, how's the contract get broken down type of thing. Let me change the background.
And
There
I'm
we go.
guessing these contracts are not public, right? I wouldn't think they would be public,
No,
but
nice.
so that kind of sucks for us just that are just speculating. Like it's hard to pick a side because if you're going by the contract, yes, Scarlett Johansson is right. She is deserved of her money because she was promised this. But so like I guess where I'm lost is because the pandemic happened, was she not aware of the pandemic? Was
I mean, she's rich. I don't know.
is she not surprised like of what's going on? Because yes, the pandemic happened, so that did push a lot of things, and it's not making her wishes come to true. You know, of getting all the money that she thinks she deserves. But we can't control that. You can't
Yeah,
control the pandemic. You
yeah,
can't control mandating masks and all this stuff that are going to piss off people, so they don't even go to the theater. You can't control these things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if it's down to contracts, okay, I guess I side with her because she's deserving of money.
Well, she
But
was promised money, but I don't think that money was never going to come because it was never going to make that much money because of the pandemic. And that's what Disney was kind of saying was
yeah,
like, you're not going to get this money. You're not going to get this $50 million, even if we exclusively put it in theaters, because it's not going to hit those numbers that are in your contract. So, and also from my understanding in reading into a lot of this was, a lot of these contracts have these clauses in them, like clauses or like things where
plus,
like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how it's gonna happen, unless this crazy, like I think it's like hand of God, act of God kind of thing happens.
right.
Then we would have to like and then it gets into more mumble jumble. So it's like Disney kind of throwing in there like, hey, act of God, pandemic kind of thing. It was like, yeah, things had to change. But it seemed a lot of shady stuff because like Scarlett Johansson people were saying they were trying to contact Disney to renegotiate the contract. And from my understanding, also not only money, but to sign on for more movies.
Oh, okay.
Which would be because she's been in 9, and I guess that was the end of her contract. So they were gonna renegotiate money with this one and have her sign on to some more movies and stuff like that. Her people said that Disney just ghosted her. They're like, this ghosted her like like a freaking 16-year-old boy does to a girlfriend that he doesn't want to date anymore. It's like.
Speaking of my ex-girlfriend, hope she's watching, bitch. Nah, I'm kidding. I've been there, man.
But it's just like ghoster. So they're saying that, but there's so much like speculation of everything is well, another big thing is like, is Scarlett even wanting to do this? Is Hollywood forcing her to do this to put their foot down on streaming? So it's like, kind of how big does this go? Because this, whatever happens here is gonna kind of set the president probably can never pronounce that word, presidents for what's going forward with streaming, because streaming is the future. And I know me and Brian talked a little bit about it on Thursday on They Would Just Become Best Friends podcast. And the thing is, like, things change. Netflix came on, Netflix got big. Even before Netflix, it was Redbox was really big. The thing is, like, I forgot who I heard it from, but somebody said it when I was watching somebody on YouTube, and they're like, convenience always wins. Convenience always wins. And nothing's more convenient than watching a newly released movie at home in your underwear Saturday morning. You know what I mean? Yeah, on your
At the
phone.
touch of your hands. It's so quick.
So that's the thing, is like, convenience is always going to win, which is very, very true. So the next couple of years is going to be very interesting. Post-pandemic, streaming's bigger than ever. How do contracts look? How do movies look from this? Our movies going to be spending millions of dollars like they did before, for something that they might not get the return on. And also the companies can hide the numbers. Disney doesn't need to release any numbers about Disney Plus.
See,
it just
now, does someone need to step in and regulate that and make that a thing public? What if they get to be too big of a monopoly where they're just making so much money, but they hide how they're really doing? Obviously, they're not gonna hide their their stock or their, what do you call that, their books. They're not gonna hide that because that's illegal. But that's pretty manipulative of a company to hide how popular a film is. What if a film does so well? Like, for example, the what is it called? I don't want to butcher it. Shang-Chi, right? Let's say that comes out and that does amazing, right? But let's say you have a racist person as a chairman, and he's like, no, I don't want anyone that's not of U.S. descent to do well, and he just says, yeah, you know what? Let's just make this movie, a loss. It didn't do well, even if it does. There's no one there to check it, so that's a little evil in my mind.
I mean, but who you gonna put it with the government? The government doesn't care, because at the end of the day, they just care. They just want, like, give us the money you owe us. Well, even theoretically, that's what they do.
Right.
So I don't know if they're gonna step in and do something like that.
I hope not. I don't want government nothing, but like a third party, nobody.
I can see a third party. Like a third party making some kind of algorithm that like pulls it out, because you can't fake the numbers with theaters, because somebody can go to a theater and see, oh, this show sold out when you go to buy a ticket, so obviously people are going to know, and people start talking and stuff like that. So, and then theaters release the numbers, and it's hard to get around something that's very public like that.
I agree.
You don't know how many people are buying Disney Plus specifically for a movie. You know what I mean? And then, because then you have to have the service, and you got to pay for the premiere access. Yeah. So it's a double whammy. So, so even if you have Disney Plus, you got to add an extra $30 for the movie. I mean, because it's like you can hide the movie, but it's like, how many people got Disney Plus to see the movie? So are you going to count both of that as it, or just the movie buying thing? It becomes very tricky with it all. And yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing. So one thing real quick is Kevin Feige, who we all know, he's the Lord of the MCU. He's the MCU god.
Yeah.
He's on Scarlett's side.
Oh, okay.
He's on Scarlett's side. He flat out said he doesn't deal with stuff like that, but Disney needs to pay his talent. That's pretty much what he said. He's like, Disney needs to pay my people. I'm like, damn. Okay. So pretty interesting. And it came out, I believe, today. Bob Iger, who's the former CEO of Disney, all of Disney, kind of was saying it should not have got to this level. And he was blaming the new CEO, because he already stepped down, I believe, last year. He stepped down, and this new CEO is like, I didn't know it was going to get this bad. I was like, well, you need to figure out your stuff, dude.
Excuses can only take you so far.
Yeah. So big issue, and I know in the episode we did with the Jungle Cruise review, we talked a little bit like, are other people going to do this? And one thing is, what's her name? Emma Stone, who did Cruella. The rumor is she might do it next. She also might sue Disney to get more money because of that. A lot of people are saying they don't think it's going to happen because she wants to be nice so she could do a sequel. I don't know. And then make the money on a sequel kind of thing. I don't know. That's kind of all like rumors. But one thing is not a rumor was people asked The Rock. They're like, are you going to do it? Because, went to Disney Plus, and he's like, he flat out said no. He's like, Also, his production company, him and his ex-wife own, I forgot the name of it. They were the production company of this movie. So for him, he doesn't really need to sue because he's
made his money, I guess.
He's also playing a different game. He's not only the actor, he's also the production, and it's a little different for somebody like him.
You can't be mad in his position if you got your hands in other honeypots. He's playing long game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess what you're trying to say is Scarlett Johansson's playing short game. She wants the money right now, which she's already been, like you said, 9 years or nine. What is it, 9 years?
9 movies.
9 movies she's done. She's kind of already been in it for the long run. I think what it comes down to with all this drama is they need a renegotiation, or they need to talk it out, do something. The whole
Yeah.
ghosting thing is immature. It's like small PP energy. You can't be doing shit like that. And big business like this, show business.
For sure.
You got to show out and be the face of a company. You can't be hiding. But
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of like not cool from them, but it's also Disney,
Mhm.
So I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be curious. I mean, so many different things happened since it got announced last week. With it, so we'll probably keep an eye on it because I know it's kind of big news. I know Oli wound up sending me an article. They're like, oh, blah 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 is suing. I'm like, oh, I'm like not surprised because
Right.
I know some of the Warner Brother people, like the guys who did Dune, that's coming out
Mm.
in October, I think. A lot of those guys are upset as well for this.
Oh.
So they haven't sued or anything yet, but they voiced their opinion that they're like pretty pissed because they're like the production crew, a lot of the other people, directors and stuff like that, they're not going to get money. They're not going to get their little bonuses too. So because it's going to be on HBO Max.
Damn.
So 2021 is going to be a very weird year for actors and movie companies going forward with streaming, because streaming is not going anywhere. And this year is proving that it's here to stay. I think for sure.
Damn.
For sure, it's the I won't say wave of the future, but it kind of is.
How do you combat streaming? I got away. So I had back in college, real quick. Back in college, I had a class where we had this teacher where I don't know what he was doing, and he was kind of going off on a tangent with his like curriculum. But he asked us all a question, and he kind of made us talk about it and write an essay about it. And he was like, "Hey, with the new technology that we have coming to the future, streaming and all this stuff, what's going to be the new way for companies to make money? Right? Movies are getting pirated." Everything's digital now, so it's so easy to just grab it from the internet. What's the new way to combat streaming? And I've only had one idea that was even close, and this is actually before streaming was a thing. This is back at I think when Redbox was still kind of a thing. So he was already like looking past what kind of ahead of his time of his thinking. And I'm like, that's an interesting thing. What if you can't make money off of your craft because it's getting stolen? How do you make the money then? Well, my way would be live action performances, right? You can't do that with a movie because it's a production. But what if you have more drive-in theaters or drive-in, like make the experience more uh, realistic or futuristic. I was kind of mentioning in one of the past podcasts about like 4D, like there's 3D, but what
Oh
if
yeah,
4D, adding extra things that could kind of alter your experience. Like there's got to be some way to bring you back to the theater or bring you back to a place to make money. If it is not going to be a theater, which is kind of compact and meant to cram a bunch of people, why don't you spread it out and start like getting acres of land and show it in the car, old school style. You could do something like that. Those are still a thing. It's
yeah,
hard to find them, but
yeah. I where I'm at, they closed down the Cascade, which was a drive-in. They closed it down in 2019, which is the worst possible thing because 2020 became the drive-in time. Like people were doing pop-up drive-ins in the city of Chicago. So
yep.
that would have been awesome, for stuff like that, because then you still have an opportunity, like you said, and you make an experience. And then you put like two. It's usually like a double feature. It's usually two movies at most drive-ins. On a
Right.
very good special night, they might do three. I did one time; it was three movies, and I watched three movies, and they're all like both newer movies out. So it was always pretty fun. I don't know, man. I don't know. It was a big issue because going back to like Black Widow. Black Widow was the most pirated movie of 2021 so far. So because it's very easy to pirate a movie when you have it on Disney Plus, like it's instant access on your computer, and once it's on your computer, game over. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where bootlegs, that you would get from people and stuff like that record the film on their phone or whatever,
They gotta
those
work
are
for
always
it.
going to be a thing. Yeah, but those are always going to be a thing.
Mm.
But that's never going to replace going to the theater and watching it because it looks like crap. You know, it always looks like crap.
Right.
Where this is it's like you can watch it 4K. You know what I mean? You can watch
Yeah.
it like 4K high def at home the same day it's out in a theater. So I mean, maybe doing a live thing would be pretty cool. But yeah, the movie theaters need to figure out what they can do because yeah, it's gonna be a big problem. You know, for companies, for AMC. I think that Regal is still around. You know, those are really the only two that I know of.
Same.
But I mean, AMC bought everyone out. You know,
Yeah.
it became the only game in town, and now they're, you know, as soon as an issue like this happens, their entire existence is in question. You
Yeah.
know, so it's really I don't know. I mean, maybe you go live, you go back to like drive-ins. You know,
I would
you
say
offer something.
drive-ins with music, more live performances, spaced
You know,
out. Live streams. Look at Twitch. Twitch is doing something that hasn't really been done before. It's been done before, but it's a normal thing now to watch someone
yeah.
else play a video game, watch someone else watch a movie. You could have a watch party where you do things at home, like maybe something where you bring SNL to the big screen or something. You know that imagine
Hmm.
something like that. That I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think where else can you go to make money.
Well, look what Fortnite did with what actor is that? Travis Barker?
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. Yeah, Travis Barker. I think
Travis.
is a drummer. Travis Scott, where they did that whole concert in Fortnite, and they made it an
Yeah.
event. And I'm not a big fan of Fortnite. I didn't really care for it. But I understand why it's big.
Right.
But what that did with that concert, that's insane. That had to have been one of the coolest things. Like if you were there live and experienced that,
Right.
that was so cool. You know, I mean, you're not there, you're not in person, but still, like you're able to like log on your TV and be your character,
Yeah.
and the whole world's changing, and this guy is like massive, and he's singing all the songs you like. That's something super cool, super cool. You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you know. So I mean, you could go like something like that. Even like you said, you know, like find a big Twitch channel, you know, that does like movie reviews, you know, like the Spoiler King movie review, and then have us, you know, live watch the movie, you know, like
Hey.
that, you know, that's because then you don't need to really pay the streamer too much
Yeah.
because you're hoping whatever money they make during the stream is theirs, you know, and then they get a cut of it, and then you do it with a bunch of different streamers, you know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you definitely need to take advantage of the situation that it's in, and I might get hate for this, but boomers are not known for that. Boomers are stuck in their ways, you know, and unfortunately, boomers run the world right now. So,
Yep.
you know, it's you can't say, hey, this is how it's done now, and they're like, no, that's not what I'm used to. You know, they're like, it needs to be done like this. So it was like, well, you know, the process is gonna die when you die. So, you know, it is what it is. You know,
True.
and that's it, man. I mean, a lot of people are like, no, theaters need to still be around because they're great. Oh, they're great because they were the only thing around.
Right.
It's not the situation anymore. I don't know, man. We went on a long rant about everything. It's just,
I mean, it all just kind of hit us, and it kind of makes you think, like, damn, like,
Yeah.
what is our current state of entertainment, and how is it going to change within the next 5 years? Even 5 years doesn't sound like a lot of time, but in entertainment time, it is a lot of time.
Oh yeah. We get entertainment. People forget you the next day, you know, the
Yeah.
next weekend. Like Black Widow, really good opening weekend. Second weekend, people forgot about it, you know.
They did.
So that's, you know, part of the issue is staying relevant, you know, staying relevant.
Mhm.
So, oh man, I don't know. We'll probably do maybe another episode as if things start to change and stuff like that with this whole situation, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think it's definitely gonna be something drawn out for a while. So we'll try to keep you guys updated with what we think and what's going on and all that good stuff.
As soon as we know, you'll know.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly. But if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, man. Go down there, hit that sub button. We go live every Monday. We do our review of the blockbuster show of the weekend, and We do a little post show. Sometimes the post show becomes a entire show, like this one did. If not, it's just us hanging out, talking about some random stuff, and you get to join in. And that is only live. You can only watch the post show live, all that good stuff. But cool. That is it from us over here. Any last any thoughts or ideas?
Nah, man. Just screw the man. No. Nah, I got nothing, man. Follow us. We bring you content. Very cool content.
We bring you our thoughts. Yeah, man, goes we're on Twitch as well. Go on twitch.tv/nerdhuddle. We're on our own channel on Spoiler Kings over here. This is our whole thing right here. Every Monday, Spoiler King review channel. Make sure you check that out. And then Nerd Huddle got Panda and Grizzly, Chicago Bear stuff. Wednesday over the Dynasty Pylon channel, all your fancy football Dynasty IDP style. And then over on the Nerd Huddle, Thursday, Did We Just Become Best Friends? All your trending stuff. Monday mornings, the Morning Spike on the Nerd Huddle channel. And that's all your fancy football, NFL news, all those updates and stuff like that. So make sure you give all three channels a sub. Check us all out. We all help each other out, so you always see everyone on all the different shows. And yeah, the links should be in the description. Go click it. Go send love to all the Nerd Huddle guys. But yeah, man, that is it from us this week. We will see you guys next week with Suicide Squad. We're gonna do Suicide Squad review, and then give you any updates on this whole Scarlett Johansson suing stuff. But cool, man. That is it for us this week. Later.